time to spotlight fintech, buy now, pay later in focus. Paul Golding's with us, Senior U.S. Lifestyle and Payments Analyst at Macquarie U.S. Research. And so as we take a look at this, it was maybe surprising to folks that Apple was ceasing its buy now, pay later service. It just launched about a year ago, and buy now, pay later was a big deal over the holidays. What was behind this?
Yes, thanks for having me on, Nicole. We've heard in the press about some difficulties in the relationship between Apple and the lender on that product. We don't cover Apple, we cover PayPal and Block, two fintechs that have their own buy now, pay later platform. But this doesn't come as a complete surprise as we think about the landscape overall, as the regulatory environment for buy now, pay later has tightened a bit. We heard a couple months ago that the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau was had decided to view buy now, pay later as equivalent to consumer credit and the credit products that we see today from traditional financial institutions. Afterpay's home market, Afterpay, the buy now, pay later product that Block acquired in 21, their home market, Australia, that regulatory authority recently following the U.S. And deciding that BNPL should be viewed and regulated the same way as consumer credit. So the regulatory environment is tightening. There are dedicated platforms out there with the relationships with lenders and the tech stack for underwriting and risk analysis and all of these dynamics that help the buy now, pay later installment offer and underwriting process go smoothly. And so to us, this, as we've written in our research, comes back to sort of clearing the deck a bit for the incumbents, the scaled BNPL players in the landscape to continue to deliver their product and be offered through some of these payment platforms that don't have their own lending infrastructure.
Yeah, understood. As you were diving into this, you wrote a paper pertaining to the landscape of buy now, pay later, and so that's really the coverage that you have in this aspect. And you talked about maybe a somewhat difficult relationship with the lender of Apple. And is it possible, because you're following names like PayPal and Block and Affirm, obviously in focus here too, and what you need to really delve into, I mean, I would assume, is will they sort of rekindle and the idea and do it again at a later date? Is it problematic now? Maybe it's not working out with this particular other company. Could they do something else and get back into this competitive space?
So what they've said, and this obviously relates to the competitive landscape and the names that we cover, we don't cover Affirm, but as we think about PayPal and Block's products, Apple has said that they're going to offer third-party installment financing plans through their Apple Pay interface. And so they're essentially going to be going to players like Affirm or using credit and debit cards through issuers at Fiserv and basically pipe this lending infrastructure through, but it won't be their own Apple based loan. And so that's where this distinction is happening. But it's not to say that you won't be able to do BNPL or leverage it for your purchases through Apple Pay. It's just that that's going to be piping in third-party installment offers as opposed to their own native lending offer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. I do want to ask you about PayPal and Stablecoin, but just the big picture on your ratings you cover Block and PayPal. What are your current ratings on those names?
We're buy rated, we're outperform rated on both of those names. We think that in this particular environment with the transition away from cash to digital, there's a secular shift towards digital payments that is going to favor those platforms that have a robust ecosystem. And so Cash App and PayPal and potentially Venmo, based on commentary from the relatively new management team and their strategic initiatives that they've discussed with the street, these ecosystems provide customers and consumers who maybe are new to using the banking system or are underbanked, essentially don't take advantage of the full selection of products, whether it's credit products or otherwise. They have an ecosystem at their fingertips to use for their consumer financial life.
Yeah, and just to really clarify, buy now, pay later, that holiday debt hangover, this was a record holiday season. And, it's unclear how much people were using buy now, pay later, but certainly helped to surge and push those bills up higher for folks over the holidays. Last quick on the stablecoin, where does that fit in? Is that exciting to you for PayPal?
It is. To us, stablecoin is an opportunity to transfer and remit funds more cheaply, globally, in a more secure and instantaneous way. It cuts out the need for some of the more expensive wire fee type services and SWIFT based type services. It puts the ability to transfer money globally and instantaneously at the fingertips of the consumer. So to us, stablecoin and in particular at PayPal is an evolutionary step towards democratizing finance in terms of global transfers.
Yeah, Paul Golding, great to see you at Macquarie U.S. Equity Research. Thanks, Paul.